Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our 5th day of movies critics hate, but we love podcasts.
Today we're covering the somehow box office flop of Wrinkle in Time.
Yes, and this movie stars, of course, Oprah, as well as Reese Witherspoon, and Mindy Kaling.
Don't forget Michael Peña's Looney Cat's doppelganger.
Yes, who's hilarious. You had Gugu Mbatha Raw. Mm-hmm. And you also had Chris Pine, who we know from who you love as
Jack Frost,
who's been in the Star Trek reboot
and the
Major Steve Trevor. Yeah, he's just an all-around great actor.
And he has Zach Galifianakis.
Woohoo! That's it.
All right. Okay, now I got it. All right, because last time I got it wrong.
So this is based on a book series written in 1962.
Yeah,
1962. So long before most of us that are listening to or doing this podcast. Yeah. And it has taken this long for it to be made into a movie.
Yeah. All we know is that it had one movie in 2003 by Disney as well, but it had a whole different feel. I guess Disney decided to remake it a second time with a different person in charge and have a whole different feel, because now it's a science fantasy adventure.
Right.
Well, the original was more, it's technically family still, but it had more of a whimsical touch to it.
It was also made in conjunction with Whitaker Entertainment, whom we're not familiar with.
Right.
But the special effects, the digital effects, the filming was absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. The costumes were beautiful, especially when they had the flowers and the fields and stuff, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Right. And a lot of stuff stuck out for it when they would go to these different realms and places. It would be different, I guess, different layers of reality and the universe and stuff. And that was kind of the drive of the movie.
Now, the previous one, I think, was made in Canada.
Yeah, it was a TV movie in 2003. Once again, Disney.
With Susan who?
Susan
Shalady.
Okay.
Or Shalady. No, Shalady. Seriously.
Okay. And Katie Stewart, Gregory Smith. None of these people we know.
Exactly. That none of us are familiar with. But
like, who?
Here's the thing about the remake. We can't say anything about the previously made one. We've never seen it. But for this one, we absolutely loved it. And as you mentioned, I think part of why this movie really didn't catch on were for two reasons. One was the marketing. In terms of the trailer that they showed. The trailer was kind of disjointed looking.
Yeah.
You couldn't get what it was about. If you didn't know anything about this particular book, or if you hadn't read it, or were familiar with it, it just looked random and odd. And it was the way they chose the segments to show.
Right. Because Disney's kind of had this thing with the live action movies. Unless they're like TV movies or they know for families, all the movies are really vast, have a dark tone, really beyond everything. They're all dramas. They look like none of them have any lights on in the background. It's like they're being filmed in the dark. Mm-hmm. And they really try to be intense or serious or action and stuff. They did with Tomorrowland. Mm-hmm. They did with the live action remakes of The Jungle Book and Pete's Dragon and all these movies. Because that's apparently Disney wants to be the tone, since Beauty and the Beast is so well somehow. Mm-hmm. That's what they want to be for all their live action movies.
Tomorrow's World I didn't like, with George Clooney, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the second reason, and because of that, you really couldn't get a feel for the movie. Now, if you were fortunate enough to have I think it's like a 10-minute preview on demand, that's what we watched, and we were like, we got to see this. Mm-hmm. So we saw the movie. And really, it is about, we'll just say positivity for not going into technical terms. It's about being really positive, knowing that you are in control of your own destiny, making your own choices, staying the path, knowing that the universe is in your favor, law of attraction, consciousness. And I think because of that, it lost a lot of people who are not familiar with the concepts or the law, the natural law of the universe.
Right. They probably think it's like, this is some freaky hippy dippy stuff. This is bull. You're pulling this out of your behind. This is nothing. You made a movie about nothing. You got all these effects and you did nothing. So that's probably what they got from it.
And then seeing also the characters that each of the three main, Oprah and, as I said, Reese and Mindy played.
Yeah, I think they're called Mrs. What's It, Who, and
Mrs.
Witch.
Who and Mrs. Witch.
Who?
And they were very uplifting, very positive, and explaining to her how you can do this, you can do anything, don't give up hope, explaining about darkness and things. I think for those that are not familiar with the concepts, as we mentioned before, the natural laws of the universe, it probably was overwhelming and too positive and too goody-goody and too bright. It was really just a bright, beautiful movie.
Right.
And it did have a happy ending, which I loved, because I really would have not liked for this movie to have a sad ending, but it had a happy ending. Not spoiling in case you want to see it and you haven't.
Right.
It was just a great movie. There's action. There's suspense.
And yes, there is a plot.
Yes,
it's not just running around.
Mm-hmm. There's a romance. There's a budding romance. Mm-hmm. There's and for you guys that like violence, there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, because it can get intense for part of it.
Yeah.
And they've kind of made it look like, good versus evil, but they found a way to present it as, well, yes, it technically is good versus evil, positive versus negative, and in its way, it was a battle. Mm-hmm. Well, in the original, they had sort of like, I guess, to save a planet, mm-hmm. and here it was really to save the universe, because it could affect everybody on Earth, or just anybody in the planes of existence. So
first, it was to save one person who we won't reveal.
Right.
But the message is the actions and choices don't affect just you. Mm-hmm. They affect everyone and everything around you. They have a cosmic effect. Mm-hmm. And again, I think that was probably just a little too much for some people to see that aren't familiar or practicing, even if you don't practice it, but who consciously practice law of attraction, mm-hmm. and really want to, I don't want to say take advantage, really want to work in tangent with the universe, mm-hmm. and making everything and everyone a better place. It was a little too much. Yeah. The movie, probably for them.
Yes.
The movie cost between 100 and 130 million. Mm-hmm. They're not giving an exact amount. Disney's done that before. And it accrued 132.7 million box office. So they made back what they put in.
Right, with slightly extra.
Right.
Now, for two things I want to mention. Last things I want to mention for the movie was the characters between relationship between Meg and her brother, mm-hmm. Charles Ross.
Yes.
It's clear that yes, he was adopted, but none of them ever say that unless it was being used against him to say hurtful things,
right.
Or there were people at the school who were thinking that and saying, okay, there's really nothing between them, they're not even blood related or whatever, but neither of them felt like that. And the little brother was always, he loved his sister so much, yes. And he would get furious when people would talk about her. And it's like, oh, how dare you!
He wanted to protect her with his little self. He wanted to protect her. And as you said, that was a wonderful part, mm-hmm. because this is the way I look at it. Call me Pollyanna. When you adopt someone, they are heirs to whatever you have. Mm-hmm. They no longer are adopted. They become your child, and you become their parent. And that's the way I look at it. And people constantly going, but you're adopted, you're adopted. I think is one of the most insulting things that can be said repeatedly over and over, because that parent is not looking at that child like that. They're like, this is my child. That's it.
Yeah.
And the child is saying, this is my mom or dad. Now, if they choose to tell them differently when they're older or whenever, that's a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. But they have the right to use those terms, not other people trying to make a big deal out of, like you say, the non-biological relationship. It's mm-hmm. just the way it was handled with that family was beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And last thing I'd like to mention, which you mentioned about the movie having the message of law of attraction, and they were going through the different layers of the universe and going through sort of tests to see what vibration are they on. And we can actually say, if you think this sounds familiar, And yeah, I have to bring them because it's actually the same situation.
And
what happened?
Law of attraction is just the name it's given to it, but it's it's about the collective consciousness and the natural laws of the universe.
Yeah. The same thing, unfortunately, happened with Voltron at the end of its series. Now, when it first started, it kind of gave hints about it, stayed sci-fi and action and stuff. But when it got to the final season, and it really delved into that and how everything in the universe mattered, even with the bittersweet stuff, if people watched it. And unfortunately, that is why that season or series considered now the worst thing ever for that division of fans. Right. When you have the other division are like, you're not understanding what they're saying. None of these complaints or the issues are real. It's just like none of the issues of this movie are real. It's just that the people who are giving this a bad rap, as with the other show, do not understand what is going on.
And sometimes it may not even be not understanding, because people are intelligent. They may choose not to want to agree with or work with that natural law.
Yeah.
And that could just be it. They understand it fully, but I don't want to hear this.
Right.
I don't want to hear that, what I do affects everyone else. I don't want to hear the universe is working with me. I don't want to hear that we all should love each other and bless it. They don't want to hear it. So it's not a matter they didn't understand. It's a matter of, this is how I don't want to choose to live my life. I don't want you forcing this on me.
Okay.
And I think for some people, that is the attitude.
Yeah.
Now,
which was actually,
they have a right to do that.
Exactly. And it was displayed in the movie when the two of the characters explained this at a conference, and people were kind of laughing or going like, this is silly, this is crazy. You were a renowned scientist, and this is what you come up with.
Right.
And the same thing said, I don't think they're ready, or I don't think this is it for them yet. So it's clear that they know this is going to be a reaction with it within the movie and with it in the outside of the movie. They knew this was probably coming, but they told it anyway.
And I'm very grateful that they did. We loved it. We watched it twice. It's, again, beautifully filmed, and
CGI
the
effects.
messages are beautiful. And we need to point out that, yes, Chris Pine and Raw are awesome as her parents, but the young lady that played Meg, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but
I think it's hold on, I almost got it. It's her name's Meg Storm Reed. That's not what I mentioned.
She did a beautiful job, and so did the young man who played her friend, and the young man that played her brother. It was an excellent cast, beautiful casting, perfectly done. And I am so disappointed it didn't go over well, because I would have loved to have seen another one of this writer's stories made, because from what we understand, it's a collection of books. And we forgot to mention her name. Her name is Madeleine L'Anglaise.
Yes, that's who made the novel.
And it would have been beautiful to see more of her stories made into movies.
Right.
So thank you, Disney, and thank you, Oprah, for making this. It's beautiful. We're just truly, truly grateful for your putting the time and energy and finances into this movie, and for Ava DuVernay actually being the one to direct it. She also directed the Selma about Martin Luther King, and she's done some other things, but it was beautifully done. If you've seen this movie and you agree that it's a beautiful movie, great messages, let us know in the comments below. If you've seen it and you just did not like it, or you didn't understand, or you did understand it and you just didn't like the message it was giving, let us know in the comments as well too. As always, we're happy to hear whatever you think, as long as it's done constructively and without vulgarity. We are happy to hear what you have to say.
And if you haven't seen this movie, it is available on Netflix to stream.
Yes.
Or to purchase it through Amazon on DVD, or through the streaming service as well.
Yes, so go to Netflix if you have it tonight. Watch it. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. And if you've never seen it, now you know what it's really about, because it's never hinted at in the trailers that you've seen.
Yeah, clearly.
Now you know. And if you are one who really works with the law of attraction and the natural laws of the universe, this would be an excellent movie for you to see. Oh, last thing, if you've read the book.
Yeah, let us know.
Yes.
Is it like closer to the book adaptation, or did they kind of alter some things like they've done recently with a lot of the movies like Artemis Fowl and others?
Right.
Let us know.
Because we haven't read it, but we plan on buying and reading it, so let us know.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Oprah. You get a movie, I get a movie, we all get a movie.
So, Oh, thank you so much for watching. I'm Masculine Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toon-tastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the form of a locket.